What is up, my YouTube family? Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, then it's just welcome to my channel. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button because you will not be disappointed. I don't think. I'm in such a good mood today. And I hope you guys are having a good day too. You know what? Shout out to all of the spouses that watch, especially the husbands who either at first thought it was weird and now they watch, or the significant others who pretend like they ain't watching but they hovering around in the background. See, she know you watching and she know you enjoy the videos. That's why sis ain't got them headphones in. That's why the TV a little louder, because she trying to let you hear it, even though you're trying to act like you know you're not listening. We know you're listening and it's fine. Shout out to you. You know what? The spouses come to mind because about 2 videos back, I saw a comment and I responded to the comment, of course, but this comment has just been on my mind ever since. And the person said that their wife used to watch my channel and they were a big supporter of mine and has since passed away, unfortunately. But prior to that, they had begun watching my channel with their wife, and they still watch, and this is kind of like something that they remember doing with their wife. Of all of the things that I'm sure they did together, watching my channel together being one of their memories is really dope. So the person who left that comment, shout out to you, and I hate that you lost your love, and I wish you much healing. So today's video is about a woman by the name of Sheila Dates and her daughter Regina Dates. So Sheila, she had gotten a divorce and decided that she wanted to move to a different city, a place where it was a little bit less fast-paced than Chicago, and so her and her daughter relocate to Jonesboro, Georgia. The two of them both get jobs. They're really enjoying the new city and how just laid back it is as opposed to Chicago, and they are extremely close. They enjoy each other's company so much that they decide that instead of them living separately, they just get a place together, and they spend a lot of their free time together hanging out anyway, so why not live together? When the two of them were not at work, they would oftentimes hang out at the movies. They would go have dinner. They would go have drinks afterward, go shopping together. They were legitimately like best friends. Now, one night in particular, they go out with a reason to celebrate. Regina has been promoted at her job, and there are a couple of reasons why she is excited about this. Obviously, she's making more money. All of her effort is being acknowledged down to the job. But not only that, her mother was always like picking up the check when they go out. And she felt really good about finally having the opportunity to, pick up the check and pay for all of the things. She was excited at the opportunity to be able to treat her mother for a change. The two of them go out, they have dinner, they go have drinks afterward, and they just all around enjoy their night. On the way home, it is pretty late, but Sheila notices that her oil light has come on the dashboard. She has a container of oil in the car, but unfortunately, it's just a little bit in there. Like, it's enough to probably get her home, then to the store the next morning, and honey, that's about it. So she decides to put the little bit of oil in there and then just makes a mental note that in the morning, she needs to stop for oil. Sheila gets up the next morning and it completely slips her mind that she needs oil. Furthermore, the oil light is no longer on because the little bit in there was enough to, kill the light. So she gets up the next day and she proceeds to work as she normally would, working as the manager of a check cashing store. For the most part, she really enjoyed her job, but a recent robbery that had taken place at the store had resulted in just her and another woman being the only 2 employees, which means that she is oftentimes left working at the store by herself. She continues to do her normal routine over the course of the next 3 days without realizing that she is being watched and followed. Now, on August 31st, 1999, it is super early in the morning. Sheila and Regina both hear the doorbell at their home. Regina goes downstairs to open the door, and it is a man and a woman who identify themselves as FBI agents. They show their badges and they ask if Sheila is home. Regina, of course, lets them know that she is, and she goes upstairs to get her mother. Now, when Sheila comes to the door, they again introduce themselves. They show their FBI badges and let her know that they would like to come inside and have a word with her regarding the company that she works for. Tells her, the name of the store and the address. This does not sound unusual to Sheila, seeing as though there was a robbery that had taken place a couple of months back at the store, and Sheila had made it known in her statement that she suspected that another employee had something to do with it. She just did not have any proof. And then right after the robbery happened, Miss Mama took her last paycheck and quit without giving a notice and then moved out of town. The local authorities, they had not had any success and identifying anybody else that had something to do with the robbery that day. So she figured that they had just escalated the matter to the FBI. Sheila welcomes the two of them inside, offering them something to drink. And as soon as her and Regina turn their backs to the FBI agents, they hear the door close and the cocking of a pistol. When they turn around, the guy is standing there with a gun pointed toward the both of them. And he tells them that they're there for the money. And as long as the two of them are cooperative, no one will be hurt. Now, Sheila and Regina are both frightened and confused because what money? But at this point, they really have no other choice but to do as they are instructed, which is to go upstairs to one of the bedrooms. The guy tells Sheila that they have been watching her for the past 3 days, and that they know that she manages this store and that she has access to the safe inside. They make it clear that they don't want anything that belongs to Sheila and Regina, and they are not there to harm them. They just want the money. And they already had a whole plan as to how they would get their hands on it. Their plan was simple. The woman would go into the store as Sheila normally would when she'd open. She would go into the safe, take the money, walk out. Meanwhile, he would stay behind and hold the two of them hostage until the money is secured, and then it would all be over. The guy begins restraining both of the ladies with zip ties. He places a strip of duct tape over Regina's mouth while Sheila is explaining to his partner the steps of accessing the safe. But see, the problem with that is this was a little slow. No matter how simplified Sheila made it, no matter how slowly she spoke, Miss Girl was just not understanding the assignment. It just was not making sense. She pulls her partner to the side and she tells him, I can't do all of that. Like, did you hear all the steps she gave me? We need a plan B. And so at this point, they are forced to tweak their plan a little bit because she couldn't get it. Now at this point, the guy's frustrated. He is a little bit perturbed by his partner not being able to hold up her end of their plan, but the most important thing to him right now is getting his hands on that money. So he is willing to compromise and come up with a solution to their problem, which is for his partner to now take Sheila with her to the store to get the money, and then they come back to the house. Meanwhile, he'll still stay behind with Regina and keep her hostage just as like insurance that Sheila doesn't try anything tricky while they are out in public. He then removes the restraints from Sheila because, of course, she can't go out there like that. And he tells her, like, look, you're going to go with her and you're going to comply. If you try anything suspicious, my partner will call me and I will kill your daughter. Now, of course, the last thing that Sheila wants to do is leave her daughter alone with this strange, crazy man. But at this point, she really has no choice because their lives are at stake. So she agrees and she and the woman go outside. The woman then tells her that she is going to have to be the one to drive. Meanwhile, she'll just sit passenger side holding a gun to Sheila just to make sure that she doesn't do anything strange. The two of them get into Sheila's car, and as soon as she turns the ignition on, the oil light comes on. She then tells the lady, like, look, we can take my car, I can get you there, but we are going to have to stop for oil because my car is not going to make it. Now, the woman is freaking out a little bit because this is not part of the plan, child. And y'all know sis is a little delayed, so she probably don't do too well with sudden changes like this. Furthermore, she doesn't trust that this is not possibly some kind of ploy of Sheila's to get somewhere public and get help. Now, Sheila reassures her that this is not a trick. I definitely am not trying anything funny. My daughter's life is still at stake. I would never risk your partner harming her just to get some attention. So she agrees to allow Sheila to make the stop. At this point, she really has no other choice. They stop at a convenience store and Sheila walks inside for oil, of course with the woman right behind her walking super close. When they get to the counter to pay for the oil, it does cross Sheila's mind to try to get the attention of the cashier, like try to look as if something could possibly be wrong. But then again, she thinks about her daughter and how saving herself and getting away from this woman would most definitely put her daughter in harm's way. Back at the house, Regina is laying on the bed. She is bound with duct tape and zip ties. The man is pacing the room. He is growing impatient and irritated at the fact that it's just taking so long. The two women arrive at the store and they are faced with yet another hurdle. The way the security system is set up, you cannot disarm it more than 30 minutes prior to the opening of the store, which meant they would have to sit in the car and wait about 30 minutes before they can enter. The woman is pissed that Sheila did not mention this before they left the house. She pulls out her phone to call her partner and give him an update. He had already been freaking out because things were just taking so long. He had expected this process to go a lot smoother and a lot quicker. And at this point, he is questioning whether or not Sheila is actually telling the truth. He does not even believe that what she is telling them is in fact the way that things work. Now, at this point, they are both questioning whether or not Sheila is telling the truth. Neither one of them believes her wholeheartedly. And they're afraid that maybe sis is stalling for something. Maybe that's a setup. Maybe she's buying time for something. Nevertheless, they decide to wait it out and enter the store at the appropriate time. Now, this is the thing. There are 2 doors that you pass in order to access the safe. Both of them have their own passcode. Once you successfully access the second door, the safe, which is inside, automatically unlocks. And also, an important thing to know is the way that the security system is set up. After you put in the first passcode and go through the first door, it closes behind you. And the security system can tell how many people have entered. If more than one person has gone through their door, it will disable the second door and your passcode will not work. Sheila knew this going in, but she decided not to tell the woman because she felt like Miss Girl would just be convinced that Sheila was playing games. She knows that both her and her daughter's life depend upon her cooperation, and so she is terrified to present yet another obstacle when they have already questioned her at every turn and they don't trust that she is in fact telling the truth, hence not being all that cooperative. So instead of bringing it to the woman's attention, she just attempts to open the door. She puts the passcode in door 1. They both walk through, but when they get to the second door, it won't open. Now Sheila is at this point entering the passcode over and over, trying to just make it work some kind of way anyway, but it is not working. The door will not open. Meanwhile, Miss Girl is standing over her shoulder, becoming more and more irritated and impatient, and is asking like, what is going on? Sheila is telling her like, I'm entering it correctly, I'm doing everything right, I don't know why it won't open. However, the woman is not trying to hear that. She is very much irritated. She calls her partner, tells him that they're having trouble opening the door, and he is of course losing it over the phone. So Sheila at that point tells them that she can call the security system and have them help her. That is literally the only other option they have to get through the second door. Now when Sheila calls the security company, she is expecting them to at least say blink twice if you need help. Ask if she is alone, if she is okay, is there something going on, where she could just give a simple 1-word answer to let them know that there was something unusual going on at the store. But they don't ask her anything. They're just like, just do this, and call them back if she needs further assistance, and then they just hang up. Now, as if things are not hectic enough, the store is now open. They are now within the business hours, so people are coming in. The customers cannot see Sheila and the woman when they walk in, so the woman is like, you know what, go get rid of them and bring your behind right back here so we can get in this safe and get out of here. Sheila goes to the front. She tells the people that her store is closed to go, to the next store. And again, this is the perfect opportunity for her to get help if she did not have her daughter in the situation back at the house. She gets rid of the customers. She goes back to where the woman is waiting for her and goes to put in her passcode again now that it has been reset. But again, it is not working. At this point, Sheila is becoming very flustered and frustrated. She makes a few more failed attempts before deciding that she just has to call the security company back again. And this time, they actually open the safe remotely from where they are. And so they now have access to the money. At this point, the woman calls her accomplice back again, lets him know that they're getting the money. She asks to speak to her daughter just to make sure she's okay. And he tells her no, like, you'll see your daughter if you hurry up, get the money, and come on back to the house. So Sheila clears the safe. Coins, cash, everything, throws it in the woman's bag. It totaled to be about $16,000. She hands it over to the woman, and she is expecting for them to just, walk out of there because she's held up her end of the bargain. Time to go back to the house. But that is not what happens. The woman turns to Sheila, apologizes to her, and tells her that she is so sorry for what she is about to do, but she cannot let her live. Pushes Sheila down face down onto the ground. She mounts Sheila from behind to kind of, weigh her down and keep her from getting up. She takes the store's phone, removes the phone cord from it, and begins choking Sheila. Sheila, of course, is trying her absolute best to fight this woman off, to get her off of her, to get the cord from around her neck, but unfortunately she is not able to. And as soon as the woman feels Sheila's body relax, believing her to now be dead, she takes the money, leaves the store, and heads back to the house. Now, I told y'all sis was a little slow because most of us know that you can simply cause somebody to just pass out by restriction of airflow, right? Which is what happened to Sheila. She was very much still alive. She just passed out a little bit. Sheila wakes up not knowing how long she's been out, but she immediately grabs the phone cord, plugs it back up, and dials 911. And of course, she also asks them to dispatch cars to her home as well to check on Regina. They rush her to the hospital and she is asking for an update constantly, but nobody has any information regarding the status of her daughter, which is very frustrating for her. And finally, a detective comes to the hospital to deliver the news face to face, which was that unfortunately the guy was successful in strangling Regina and taking her life. And of course, the two perpetrators had, by the time that the police reached the house, have fled the scene. Now, Sheila wastes no time giving a full physical description of both of them and recanting all of the details that had taken place, with the most important detail being the fact that they kept calling each other once the woman had gotten to the store. So investigators were able to compile a list of all of the cell phones that were pinging off of that nearby tower. The phones were burners, but they were still able to find out what store they had been purchased from, and also the name of the person who had done the purchasing, Mr. Keith Darnell Henry. And little Keith had a history of armed robbery. They are able to secure a search warrant for Keith's residence. When they get inside, Keith is not there. But there are pictures of both him and his female accomplice, who turned out to be his wife, Belinda Henry. Now, at the time, the two were actually wanted for a bank robbery in Nashville, and they were actually on the run for that. Child, the FBI was already looking for them. So they contact the FBI and let them know, like, hey, this is where they just were and this is what they did. And 6 weeks later, the FBI contacts the local authorities and tells them that they have found the two in a hotel room in Jersey that they have surrounded. Child, they are deep outside of this hotel room. They tell the couple to come on out and surrender with their arms up and just go down peacefully, child, just without a fight. Meanwhile, Keith and Belinda, they're inside knowing that there's no way out of this. They decide, you know what? We're going to just go ahead and surrender. Like, we have no other choice at this point. Belinda tells Keith to go out ahead of her and that she would then surrender herself after the fact. Keith agrees to take the lead, going out first with his hands up. And as soon as he gets outside, a single gunshot goes off. Instead of being arrested peacefully, Belinda decided to take her pistol and then take her own life. Child just took the shortcut to hell. Keith had no idea that she was going to do this. He is stunned at the fact that his wife has done this. And before he can go back inside, try to grab him and slap the cuffs on him. They're like, nope. Now, the police were not really expecting him to be as cooperative as he was, but once he got down to the station, he tells everything. I guess he figured at this point, child, he really didn't have anything else to lose, and that it would probably be in his best interest to just cooperate with police as far as his own sentencing. Now, according to him, the couple has simply just got tired of being broke and not having enough money to just enjoy life and do all of the things that they want to do. Belinda also suffered from manic depression, and so his wife was always really sad. And the two of them genuinely believed that if they just had more money and access to the finer things in life, that their overall quality of life would be better, especially Belinda's, because, you know, she really was suffering emotionally. Hey, Blue, y'all see him back there? He then talks Belinda into the robbery. When they got away with the first one, they started to scope out these businesses, just like the check cashing place or convenience stores that were managed by women who didn't have that much staff, and decided that those would be the targets They had actually hit quite a few stores across Atlanta before they got to Sheila. Now, Sheila was going to be the first woman whose house that they had gone into. So they spent days watching her, following her, getting her routine down, making sure that she did not have a boyfriend or a husband or any male figure that frequently visited the home, making sure that she didn't have a dog that could tear their leg off or anything else that would stand in their way of carrying out their plan. Now, according to Keith, he loved his wife so much that he was willing to do anything, take lives, take money, whatever, in an effort to make her happy. His only regret was the fact that doing all of that kind of led her to the point in which she did what she did in the hotel room. He pleads guilty to all of the charges, waives his right to a trial by jury, and in 2002 he is sentenced to death. But just 2 years later, the Supreme Court decided to overturn his sentence. He had actually gotten the death sentence because they decided that he did pose a future threat to people, but the Supreme Court decided that that was not proven and there was no evidence to support the theory that he poses a threat to somebody in the future. Baby, he strangled somebody. He masterminded the killings of 2 people. So how is that not evidence? I'm confusion. Ultimately, they end up reducing his sentence to life in prison without the possibility of parole, which is cute, but still, I say take the girl down to the electric chair or the gallows or whatever is available and free. It's fortunate that Sheila lived, but it's so unfortunate that she lost her daughter. But the thing is, and this may sound terrible, but I honestly was a little pleased at the fact that he lost Belinda in the end because he deserved that loss. Honestly, truly. And granted, it's still not as great a loss as Sheila's, I'm sure, because this was her child, but he's still hurt. And as far as their zodiac signs, I know y'all didn't think I was gonna forget. Belinda's birthday is May 11th, 1960. She was 39 at the time that all of this went down. And sis is a Taurus. Taurus, y'all really are doing a lot, honestly. I don't know what's going on with you. As for him, I hate it, but I could not find his date of birth. The year 1957, nowhere. I have scoured the internet, y'all. I cannot, and I did not want to have to get on here and tell y'all I couldn't find it, but I just could not find his funky little birthday. I think he's a Gemini though, but whatever. And that is it for this story and today's video. I hope you like this makeup look. Don't forget to leave your thoughts down below on this case. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to like on your way out. Share this video with a friend or anybody, girl. They ain't gotta be your friend, okay? As always, I appreciate you guys so much for spending your time with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Peace. Oh, my eye twitching, child. I've been looking at something I ain't got no business looking at. Let my mama tell it. I got this. Girl, what is in my eye trying to ruin my life? Now, they decide that instead of them getting 2 separate houses together, separate houses together don't make sense, girl. Now, the local authorities, girl, where is they? She just did not. They stop it as. She knows that her and her daughter's life, girl, becoming more and more irritating. Well, she was becoming irritating, but that was a typo. Meanwhile, she removes the store phone's jack. No, what? They always setting some shit on fire at the wrong time. Don't y'all starve, please do not. Burn this bitch down some other time. Unfortunately, the 2 perpetrators have they are demanding that Belinda and Henry, that was their last name, girl, and they're making sure she didn't have a husband or a boyfriend, girl. But just 2 years later, the support, girl. That is it for this video. I appreciate you. Okay, no, that is not my outro. My mouth is so dry. Oh my God. Let me give me a little piece of thumbnail. I feel cute today.